from the Aboriginal Australian issue, we are coming now to the Aboriginal issue in Goa, whom we normally call as tribals, and in Goa they are more popularly, or they are known as the Gaudas. So I am Cyril Fernandez. I am a human rights activist based in Vasco, Goa, and the purpose for this discussion is this book, Justice at the Grassroots, authored by me on behalf of the villages of Kortani, Kelosi, Nagrik Samiti, the tribal hamlet in Goa, who decided to write about this gentleman, Anton Francis Fernandez, one of the first tribal leaders to organize the different sections of tribals in Goa. The person who took the initiative, because the tribals in Goa are divided in different factions and religiously also. So he was the man who took the initiative to bring them together. And if you follow the news in Goa, there was the recent Uta function that happened in Ponda, for which he was the main force behind it, the United Tribal Alliance of Association. So the result of this book is that we are all here, and this book is available also for all those interested in the stalls, and it's available at a 50% discount, so that you know more about the tribals. It has the history in the beginning of the tribal issues in Goa, and then it talks about the work of Anton Francis and how he has worked to uplift his community. And there are some very good photographs inside, a collector's item, I can say, very rare, and including some which could be of the Mad, something that the Gaudas have introduced in Goa. So you will not get such photographs anymore now because of all the development that we talk of. All those things have got erased now. So we were lucky, some 15 years back I managed to get this photograph which is published here. So like this, there are some rare photographs, so you can always have it as a collector's item also. The proceeds of this book goes to the committee that has come out with this book and the trust that has been formed in the name of this gentleman, Anton Francis, to carry on his work. I have with me here my very good friend Mr. Sebi Fernandez, Rodriguez, sorry, who has been very active among this community, and especially concentrating his activism in the field of mining and how mining has contributed to the destruction of this community and the community's growth in Goa. Similarly, I have next to him Advocate João Fernandez from the Gauda community, from the Christian Gauda community, I must say. But these are some facts that will come up to you, how the Gauda community is also divided in Goa on religious basis also. And he is working on issues where the church has contributed to the destruction of Gauda culture in Goa, the Roman Catholic Church. Next to him is, he is also authored a book, a collection of Gauda songs called Goinso Mool Awaz. It's a collection of different cultural songs that the Gaudas sing for various occasions in Goa. Next to him is Mr. Devidas Gaonkar, a young writer, activist. How should I describe him? A real dynamite in the movement of the Gauda community, and he comes from Gaon Dongri, Kotigaon, a very, very remote village in Goa, where our so-called development is yet to reach. When we say Goa is developed and all that, Kotigaon I don't think has seen even roads and electricity in some part of it. And they claim that it's because of the forest rights that they cannot, protection of forest, that they cannot develop it. but then that same rules do not apply in areas where mining is very welcoming attraction. So they are victims of our double standards. So he comes from that area. He has also written a book on Gowda culture as well. And he has very well documented the whole life of Gowdas, the village life, their customs, their way of living, and especially their relation to Mother Nature, to agriculture. So this is the brief background of the participants. And I would begin with Sabi to discuss how you look at the status of Gowdas, the tribals of Goa in the present context.
One thing I must tell you, I must thank Cyril for including me here. And another thing is, I've got two books to answer Cyril's questions. One is Goatil Khanizanchi Prachanda, it's in Marathi. Actually, in English it's known as Goa's Great Mining Plunder. And there's another book, Status of Adivasis Indigenous Peoples Mining Spurious, Goa Land Mining and Indigenous Peoples in Overview. And this is the latest publication in February this year. I look at it, indigenous people in Goa, as a colonized people, a doubly colonized. The homelands have been colonized, not just with what Cyril has referred to me as working with regard to mining leases, etc., etc., but also almost every section of our economy. Most of our industrial estates are located on tribal lands. Even though comparatively the land which is there for mining, around 68,000 hectares of land, is far more than what has gone to around 30 or 37 industrial estates in Goa, which covers around 1,700 hectares of land together. And also about tourism. This particular plateau that we are sitting is also a tribal homeland once upon a time, and today it's a battleground. In fact, there are literally battles that are going on in these areas, and I basically look at these battles almost like a battle correspondent. Last night I went to sleep at 1 o'clock in the morning. I was blogging a story about the trawler that had been taken over by fishermen here in Zuari River, and how it escaped at 2:30 in the morning. Is there online available. Doing the blog, and I've been doing this kind of blogging and writing right through, and I've been punished for that by many. One of them is a sponsor, Siddharth Durga, owner of it, also one of the offenders, and of course, Tempos are also one of the offenders, well-known offenders, and even more after selling their mines to Cesar. I look at it as a colonized community, and which is struggling. It is struggling in a sense, trying to organize itself as a Dakuwe. But that's not enough, because it is, even though in Goa it's substantial population, 12% officially, but it's not enough to overthrow the oppressors who are actually ruling. So the collaboration is yet to be forged with other communities like SCs and OBCs, which has not, efforts are not going in that direction. And it just not spread within political boundaries of Goa, but my area that I've covered in this book, it's also extends far beyond. Devidas' mother, for example, comes from somewhere in Karnataka, and I went to research of where these tribal communities are located. They're far beyond Goa's political boundaries. So tribal homeland boundaries are far different from Goa's political boundaries, and the homeland is under threat. And the latest subject line of the tribal communities in Goa has been race war. It's a race war, and that's where the current state is.
Thank you, Sari. The same question I would like to pose to Jean, because I would like to know from him, being a Gowda, how would he see the status of Gowdas in the present context?
As far as I am concerned, I will limited myself to Christian Gowdas. Now, what I visualize, what I see, that Christian Gaudas are mostly concentrated within the cities, or they are residing close to the cities. But as far as their state is concerned, in Kepen Talukas at least, they are most backward in socially, educationally, and other things. And they are being exploited. And presently, which has started somewhere in the year 1993 in Kepen at least, we are running in religious dictatorship. The religious institution in Goa, which claims to be the champion of humanity and champion of culture, has destroyed my culture. They consider that Christian Gaudas are barbaric, uncivilized, and they came from dust. So, and they have authority to dictate them, to destroy their culture, to destroy their religious institutions, or to destroy their mind. Now, every Gauda village or Gauda ward was having their setup, having their mind. But in my village, there were around 9 months. They have been destroyed in 1997. From 1993 it started, and from 1997 it was completed. So, with the destruction of Mand, their culture has been destroyed, their identity has been destroyed. Now the recent, this year the Mand which was destroyed is at Avade. This is being forcefully destroyed by the religious leader. Because what I apprehended and spoken to the Gauda community is that if we destroy the culture, they may destroy their tribal status also in the years to come. And my anticipation is that if the trend continues, then my apprehension is that the Gaudas of Goa, Christian Gaudas particularly, will wipe out from the map of Goa. Because John Fernandez was John Fernandez, it cannot be identified that whether it is a Brahmin or Shudras or Gaudas, cannot be identified. So, as the Gaudas in Goa are looked upon as uncivilized, barbaric, the educated youth from this community, the financial well-off from this community are isolating from their community. They are from living their villages, their parents, their agriculture friends moving to other places so as to hide their identities. They are losing their culture, and what the religious institution thinks that the Gaudas, they don't have right to preserve their culture, so it should be taken over by the West culture. Even we are losing this our habits like diets. We are having rich diet like Amir, like our traditional soji, other which are rich in contents. That also we are losing with the influence of globalization. And in the years to come, the Gaudas, I apprehend that Gauda may be, or Christian Gaudas will wipe out and back over.
Devidas, what is the identity of a Gauda? How would you describe? Because you have written on the culture of Gaudas.
I am sorry for firstly all of you because I am a Marathi student. I speak in Konkani. This is a translator here.
This come. You will speak in Konkani and we will translate it.
Because I can't perfectly speak in English. Actually, श्री बाबान जो क्वेश्चन केला, जे गावडे जे आसा कम्युनिटी आसा, ते जेन्ना आयले तेन्ना सगळ्यांत पयलीं तांच्यांनी आपल्या पोटाचो प्रश्न जो आसा, पोट भरपा खातीर जे कितें करपाक जाय, तांच्यांनी सगळ्यांत पयलीं कुमेरी कल्टिवेशन स्टार्ट केलें. आनी
when the Gauda community, when they came to Goa, started with Kumeri cultivation.
आणि कुमेरी म्हणजे कितें, सगळ्यांत पयलीं ते एखाद्या डोंगरार जेन्ना गेले उपरांत, एखाद्या प्लेसीर गेले उपरांत, जाग्यार गेले उपरांत, ती जागा ते सगळ्यांत पयलीं झाडां कापून क्लीन करताले. आनी क्लीन केले उपरांत ताका उजो लायताले. आनी उजो लायले उपरांत जातालें कितें, एक तर जमीन क्लियर जाताली, आनी दुसरी गजाल म्हटल्यार जमीन ती भाजिल्ल्यान त्या जमनीक जे बरें पीक येवपा खातीर ती जमीन परफेक्ट जाताली.
Kumiri cultivation is like burning the forest, cutting the trees. Then when the trees are burned, that land becomes barren.
आणि मागीर त्या जमनीचेर ते नॉर्मली जी काय फ्रुट्स आसा, स्पेशली आज तवशी मोगी म्हणटा जी काय आमकां सिटीक पळोवपाक मेळटा रस्त्यार सायडीन आतां विकपाक बसता, त्या तरेची फूड वेलिंग्स ते कल्टिवेट करताले.
And on this land, certain fruits were cultivated by this society.
आनीक ताचे उपरांत हळूहळू त्या जाग्यार तांच्यांनी नाचणे, तोर, वरय ह्या सारके कल्टिवेशन स्टार्ट केलें. आणि हे कल्टिवेशन करतना ते जमीन जे आसा न्ही, आज जे जशे आमी नांगर घालून बसता किंवा ट्रॅक्टर घालता, त्या तरेचे फॅसिलिटीज नाशिल्ले. ते स्वताक मनीसच काम करताले, खणटाले.
In this type of cultivation, modern techniques were not used, but traditional techniques for plowing were used, and wheat, rice, and other crops were cultivated on this Kumeri cultivation land.
आणि जेन्ना ते खणटाले तेन्ना एक तांचे कडेन व्ही आकाराचे एका सायडीन लांब शेप आशिल्ले अशे तरेचे एक अवजार आशिल्ले, ताका स्पेशली कुडवण अशें म्हणटाले. आणि त्या कुडवणान जमीन खणटाले आणि जी खणपाची जी एक्टिविटी आसा ताका आज आमी खणटा म्हणटाले किंवा खणटा म्हणनाशिल्ले, म्हणजे जमीन कुडवप अशें म्हणटाले.
For plowing, the tool which was used was called kudwan, which was traditionally used by this.
आनीक ह्या कुडवण हाचे वेल्यान जे जमीन खणटा ताका जमीन कुडवप अशें म्हणटाले. आणि ह्या कुडोवपा वेल्यान जे त्या तरेन कल्टिवेशन करून जे पीक मेळटा ताका कुडवाडी धंदो अशें म्हणटाले.
Whatever after the cultivation, whatever the cultivation they received, it was called as kudwan. After plowing, whatever the outcome was called kudwan.
आणि जेन्ना अशा तरेन जे कुडवण जेन्ना कल्टिवेशन करताले ताका कुडवण. आणि ह्या जे कल्टिवेशन आसा, जे करपी मनीस आसा, सॉरी हे जे कल्टिवेशन सिस्टम आसा, फूल सिस्टमीक कुडवाडी धंदो म्हणटाले. म्हणजे कुडवाडी बिझनेस म्हणजे तो फक्त सेल्फी स्वता खातीर करताले, नॉट अ बिझनेस. आणि मागीर त्याच्या उपरांत ज्या जाग्यार ते कल्टिवेशन करताले त्या जाग्याचे खंय तरी एक त्या जाग्यार ते इम्पॉर्टन्स इतलें दिताले की त्या जाग्याचो कोण तरी प्रोटेक्टर आसा, कोण तरी राखणदार आसा अशें ते मानताले. आणि तातूंतल्यान तांगेली त्या शक्तीक ते मान दिताले, रिस्पेक्ट दिताले. आणि त्या मान दिताले, रिस्पेक्ट दिताले. आणि तो रिस्पेक्ट तांच्यांनी दिवपाचें एक सेंटर तयार केलें. खंय एखाद्या जाग्यार झाड किंवा एक फातर घालो आणि ताका ते मागीर देव अशें म्हणून ते मानपाक लागले.
She's finding it difficult to translate, because of all these traditional words that he's using, for which there is no equivalent English word. So, if you don't mind, could you do that translation? Yeah.
For the protection of the crop or cultivation which they used to undertake, they used to believe that someone is spirit who used to give protection, and that may be in different name.
आणि ज्या जाग्यार ते कल्टिवेशन करताले त्या जाग्याची सराउंडिंग सिच्युएशन कितें आसा किंवा त्या जाग्यार कितें एखादें पॉप्युलर नांव आसा किंवा एखाद्या जाग्यार एखादें झाड आसा आनी तें झाड सामकें जर इम्पॉर्टंट आसा जाल्यार थंयसर ते तांच्यांनी जो मेन प्रोटेक्टर पावर म्हण तयार केल्लो आसा, केंद्र पॉयंट्स तयार केल्लो आसा, ताका एक नांव दवरताले की एक वडावयलो देव, किंवा जर ताका जर सायडीन जर दोंगर आसत जाल्यार दोंगरवेलोचो देव, किंवा म्हणजे त्या सिच्युएशनान खंयचे पॉप्युलर आयडेंटिटी कनेक्ट करताले आनी त्याच नांवान तो देव पॉप्युलर जातालो.
And the deity of that place is being named after nature, either mountain or trees.
आणि हे जे देवस्थान आसा ताका जेन्ना ते देवस्थान एस्टाब्लिश केलें तेन्ना त्या वेळार एक फातर घालताले किंवा एक लाकडाचो दांडो मारताले आणि त्या वेळार एक कोंकणींतल्यान एक म्हण तयार जाली की खुटी मारून मटी चडली म्हणजे किंवा खुटी मारून फूट मारलो आणि गांव भरलो अशा तरेचो कांय वर्डिंग्स तयार जाले जेणे करून स्टार्टींग गांवाचें एस्टाब्लिशमेंट त्या सिच्युएशनांतल्यान जालें आणि त्या तशेंच जे आयज एसटी कम्युनिटीचे जितले विलेजीस आसा ते कुळमी खुटयेचे गांव अशे आयडेंटिटीज आसा.
Then subsequently the villagers used to set up their villages, the tribal villages, with traditional huts.
आणि मागीर एक्चुअली सगळ्यात पयलीं आयज गोंयांत जे कांय जाण मदीं एक क्लायमेट तयार जालें की वी आर नॉट कुळमी, ट्रायबल लोक म्हणटाले ऑल द ट्रायबल पीपल से वी आर नॉट कुळमी. पूण मागीर मागीर जेन्ना हळूहळू फॅक्ट जेन्ना कळपाक आयलो तेन्ना मागीर जेन्ना कळलो तेन्ना सगळे कांय जाण कुळमी म्हणून एक्सेप्ट करपाक लागले कारण ऑल द गोवन पीपल जितले आसा जितले ट्रायबल्स आसा सगळे कुळमी आसा ओरिजिनली. मागीर कुळमी हातूंत भितर मागीर गावड सॉरी जो कुळमी आसा तो वड जो जसो सांगला की खुटी मारली आनी मागीर गांव हें केलें तशा तरेन त्याच सिच्युएशनाक दुसरो एक मिनींग आसा तो म्हटल्यार गावडा आनी गावडाचें सेम आसा की गांव वसोवपी आनी गांव बसोवपी आनी तशें जर पळोवपाक गेलें जाल्यार कुळमी हो भितरलो एक जर फ्रुट्स घेतले आमी अंडरग्रावंड हो कुळमी आनी आउटलायन जे आसा गावडा अशा तरेन म्हणजे दोनूयक्याचो जर गावडा आनी कुळमी हाचो जर मिनींग जर फायंड आवट करपाक गेले जाल्यार ओरिजिनल होच येता कुमेरी सिस्टमी कडेन कनेक्ट जाता आनी तोच मेळटा.
The tribal origins are Kulbis, and subsequently they were also called as Gaudas. Gauda means Gaon Usopi. They set up the villages and they run the villages. The word of Gauda is Gaudas means they set up the villages and run the villages themselves.
आनीक मागीर त्या वेळार जेन्ना पयलींच्या वेळार एकामेकाचें जेन्ना पयस गांव आसता आयच्या सारके फोन किंवा कॉन्टेक्ट खंयचेच साधनां नाशिल्लीं आनी जेन्ना कॉन्टेक्ट जेन्ना पयस जाता दोन ग्रूप जाला एक सावथान एक सायड असो येता तेन्ना दोगांचे जे आसा लिंक तुटले आनी दोगांची आयडेंटिटी चेंज जाली. वन सायड कुळमी सेकंड सायड गावडा आनी आयज मोस्टली सांगे केपें काणकोण कर्नाटका सायड जितले आसा ते कुळमी आपली आयडेंटिटी सांगता जाल्यार फोंडा पणजी हे सायडीन जे आसा ते मोस्टली गावडा अशी आयडेंटिटी सांगता.
When these communities were segregated, some of it resulted in change their identity. Some of them were called as Kulbis, other called themselves as, who identified themselves as Gaudas.
पूण आजुनी जेन्ना आमी गावडास किंवा कुळमीस हांचे कडेन जेन्ना डिस्कस करता किंवा तांचे गांवाचे सिस्टम गांवाचे ट्रेडिशन्स गांवचे कल्चर्स जेन्ना सगळ्यो गजाल्यो आमी बारीकसाणेन पळयता ऑब्जर्व करता तेन्ना दोगां भितर ऑलमोस्ट सिमिलर सगळें सिस्टम आसा फक्त एक 10-20% डिफरन्सिएशन आसा.
If we verify the cultural identities or cultural aspect of these communities, there is no differentiate whether it is Christian Gaudas or Catholic Gaudas, Christian Gaudas, Hindu Gaudas or non-Hindu Gaudas. There is particularly a cultural identity of all these communities.
आनीक जशे सगळे आयडेंटिटी एक आसा फक्त रावपाचो जागो जो आसा जागो सिच्युएशन चेंज आशिल्ल्यान किंवा त्या त्या तरेचे क्लायमेट चेंज आशिल्ल्यान तांची रावपाची सिस्टम कांय प्रमाणात बदल जाला पूण कल्चर आनी बाकीचे एक्टिविटी ऑलमोस्ट सेम आसा. आनी मागीर गावडा भितर जेन्ना पाटापाटी सिस्टम्स आयली तेन्ना मागीर तातूंत भितर डिविजन जालें की क्रिश्चन गावडा तयार जाले आनी क्रिश्चन गावडा तयार जाले उपरांत मागीर कांय काळा नंतर मसुरेश्वर स्वामी I am not exact year 1928 पुणा साकून मसुरेश्वर स्वामी हांचो हाडलो आनी जे गावडा कम्युनिटी आशिल्ले तांकां 50% जांकां कोणा पाठयल्ले तांकां परत हिंदू कन्वर्ट केले आनी गावडाचे हिंदू गावडाचे क्रिश्चन गावडा आनी मागीर कन्वर्ट केले उपरांत नवो हिंदू क्रिश्चन गावडा अशे 3 डिविजन्स गावडा भितर तयार जाले.
There is no difference among all the tribal communities, but some of those who are residing, there is difference as far as their residential aspect is concerned. And there are 3 categories of tribals in Goa. One is Hindus, second one is Christian Gaudas, and third one is now Hindus who were subsequently from Christianity, they were subsequently converted into Hinduism.
आणि लास्ट म्हटल्यार कुळमी भितर तशें डिविजन जालें की कांय जाण कुळमी म्हणपाक लागले मागीर तातूंत भितर गांवची सिस्टम्स चलोवपा खातीर गांवकार आनी वेळीप हे दोन डिविजन तयार जाले आनी आतां ते कांय जाण हे दोन फक्त आयडेंटिटी म्हणून सांगतात.
Subsequently, there become another division that some of them identify as Gaonkars, others are identify themselves as Willips.
Thank you, Devadas. Actually, the thing was going beyond the time allotted to him because of the translation part. Otherwise, it was very interesting thing to know in such detail about the Gowda Kunbi life. I think he deserves a round of applause for all that. This question goes to Sabi. What do you think from this background? As you must have noticed, this is one community in Goa which has undergone three conversions. So he has only talked about two, of Christianity and then now Hindu. But actually the Gowdas are not even Hindus. So the first they were converted into Hindus, then into Christianity, and then returned back to the Hindus, and God knows where they are going to land up later on. This question goes to Sabi. Sabi, how you look at the Gowdas and how has the other sections of society related themselves to the Gowdas?
One of the things that is there is what is called strict censorship to discuss is about caste, particularly the Brahminism, and I'm going to break that censorship now. My reading goes that the first conversion from enemies to Christianity, there was a resistance there. And in fact, now from the 22nd of November this year, it is official stated position of the Church of Goa that Saint Francis Xavier himself was attacked by Brahmins. There was an attempt to murder him. He ran away for his life. 13 arrows were shot at him. One he got hurt. He ran on the top of the tree and he escaped that way. This is official status, official position of the church with imprimatur of the book written by Patrick Lobo and released by Emeritus Archbishop Raul Gonzalez. So the first conversion, there was resistance, and resistance was from that, from Brahmins. Second conversion of 1928. If you read the writings of Bharatpal Hegde Desai, especially of the editorials that he wrote in the newspaper that he used to edit in 30s and 40s, 20s, 30s, 40s, you can see the logic, the reasoning. He extorts, calls upon his fellow Brahmins to see that the Gaudas are broken away from Christianity. Broken away, and because the reason says that the Christian majority, the status of Goa has to be broken. And it's to be broken, and somehow you have to lure them back. So he personally organizes the campaign to go and visit so many other Brahmins, and finally they come to a strategy. What is the strategy? We will promise these Gaudas land. Lands were the Brahmins already during the Portuguese. After the Portuguese came, in fact, the land, how land went to Brahmins during Portuguese era is documented in this book. I'm not going into that, but the land promises were made to all the Gaudas here, all the ancestors who are the Rohidas is here, and so many others. The ancestors right from Dona Paula, Aivão, Orshel is just below International Center, Naushi, Kakra, Bamboli, Shirdao, and further right up to Dhulapi, the border of Kiswari Taluka. And the offers were made and said, once you convert, once you become, I don't know, I don't like this word used, Hindu. So that time these words were not used in 19th. The words were Konkane. Hindu word comes much later. And the real meaning of the Hindu word is very derogatory. It means slave, black, and a thief. This is the true meaning of the word in the Persian language. And Brahmins themselves objected to use this word against themselves in a written memorandum to Mughals. This is the history of this word. Now we simply use this word casually. This is the story of 1926-28, during which this. But once the conversion was done, the tribals were betrayed. The lands continued to remain with the Brahmins, and you see in 90s, the 2000s, the land getting sold massively, and tribals just getting pushed up. You see, the Aldia they go 145 acres of land is taken. now Hotel Grand Hyatt, Goa University, International Center, then you see right up to NIU, all these lands were the tribal habitat lands, and so it's been going with. And now this kind of politics is going on, it's very ingrained. And the Brahminism, Brahmin colonialism, you must say, and they are the one who are instruments of to impose whatever we call capitalism or other isms. But this is a primary ism, and that we need to focus more on. And as a writers, we need to be thoughtful.
Thank you, Savi. Savi has touched upon land. So I would like to know from João how he looks at this issue of land from the Gaonkari point of view. Gaonkari was something which we today call as Kumnidar, was a concept introduced by the Gaudas as a community ownership of land. What is the status now and how much of land do the Gaudas still own?
Now, as far as Catholic Gauda is concerned, in Kepe and Sange Taluka, I could not trace a single Christian Gaudas as landowner. As original landowner, huh? Take the example of Ambavali village. One side Hindu Gaudas are residing, other side Catholic Gaudas are residing. Not a single Catholic Gauda is holding land as original owners. On the other hand, Hindu Gaudas are holding land as original owners. Now, I have written an article, are Christian Gaudas of Kepe and Sange landless liberal? And my reasoning is that even their Kul Devis Parvat, even the Hindus Kul Devis Parvat, the Hindus are holding land as original owner, but Catholic Gaudas are not holding original owners. They are having land, but either as a murkar or tenant. You want to grab that land. There is a move from the government by amending the Agriculture Tenancy Act. And there is a hidden agenda on the part of government or the ruling class to grab that land which they are having. Now, as far as Komunda is concerned, my ancestors were also cultivating Komunda land. They were being harassed for delaying the rent and other things. Even the institutions which are supposed to protect who has brought us in this port from Kokon Pond to Krishna Pond, they are also not protecting these communities. Because what I have noticed that the landlords are not from the particular village. They are residing either in Penjim, either in Kumbole, either in Satset or somewhere. But these the original owners, the people who are residing over there, they are not the owner at all. This some hazard has been taken place or hazard has been done as far as this community is concerned. And if one verifies the records, even some of the priests from the high communities are shown as original owners. Then subsequently the land has been transferred.
I have a question for all the speakers. How many youngsters, those who go to college and now educated from Gauda community, proudly say that they are Gaudas and ready to help their parents in their cultivation and all? How many of them? Can you cite one example?
João should answer that.
Whether they are Catholics or Hindus in between.
See, there is a trend in the society. These Gaudas are uncivilized, unbarbaric. So unless and until some proudness creates among this community, this trend will not come. They isolate from their villages. Now slowly this trend is getting changed. Now I am proud of my community. Everywhere I go, I say that I am from Gauda community. I am from a particular village. Even some of the students hesitate to name their villages because these are villages identified by these Gaudas. So even they are hesitating. Even now there is a defect in the system because our system does not inculcate the dignity of labor. Dignity of labor, though I may be exception to that because early in the morning I work in my paddy field. I work digging, everything I do. And unless and until dignity of labor through education inculcate among the youth, either it is tribals or any other community, taking up the job in the agriculture will not come up.
Also, just a quick response. This attitude has been inculcated over the past many years in fact almost a century. The best example I can give is today's our India's defense minister. The group of Manohar Parrikar, a group of tribal people went to meet him in 2002 when the agitation for the scheduled tribe status was going on. They met him at Hotel Atish, and he gave him the memorandum of their demands. He says, Dr. Babasaheb Bandodkar amka rasan lagta hai. He put us in great trouble. It is because of him you are giving this letter. I said, why? What we got to do, Babasaheb Bandodkar and us? No, he is the one who started shalas in every village. Because of him, I have to confront you. Your community is such a nice community. They used to come from Madkai to my farm in Mapsa, and they used to cultivate free of cost for 15 days, and they used to go. People in our family, we never knew where they would be going. This is the Manohar Parrikar of India's defense minister. And this was the attitude that was cultivated by Brahmins, and it has been internalized now. And that needs to be an exorcism of these attitudes very, very systematically, and we all need to contribute towards it.
Any more questions? Please.
I am from the Sattari Taluka, and I have been experiencing in a great extent there is a sense of inferiority in this community. I approach some boys from this community to go for engineering or the courses which will give them best prospects in their life. But they hesitate to go there. Even I told them that I will support you, whatever you want I will give you. If you want me to support you people, I will support you for financial situation. I will assist you at any bank. But why these people are so much internalized and why they feel that they are very inferior?
When I was studying in a diocesan school, the other community students used to call me Aab. Or if we done some mistakes, they used to tease us. Now, in such a scenario, such a circumstances, do you think these people will, coming from remote villages, will able to undergo this mental torture? Even some of the priests called me Gaudas while studying in the school. Even my colleague, one of my colleague who was a teacher in one of the national institution, the teacher used to teach the student, attitude, society has to be changed. If our community, some sort of confidence to be developed, society mental attitude has to be changed. And they should encourage, they should treat them as human beings. We are treated as worse than animals. And that's why some of inferiority complex is getting developed among our students, our youth. And those who have built up leadership from this community go away from there is no example so that they can inculcate, they can copy and go much forward.
I'm not familiar with Sattari. Sattari has got one of the best engineering examples where tribal community practices. You must have heard about Puran Sheti in Sattari. It is no longer there because engineers have destroyed it. Engineers who study engineering college, they build dams there. They've gone. They used to cultivate the paddy fields inside the river, and during rainy season used to go. This is one. And there is nothing wrong with the mindset of tribal people. There is something wrong with the mindset of Brahmins. They are the one who have got mob mentality, and they are the one who perpetuate perverted attitudes and impose their attitude on everybody else because they want to dominate everybody else for their own selfish interests. Selfish interests are to rule and to capture power, and psychological power is a very important aspect. And to know more and how to dissect it, the kind of approach that you have taken, that Paulo Freire, Brazilian education, calls it paternalism. I am top and you are my younger brother. I am helping you with money, you change. You better change, otherwise I'll kick your ass. You know, that kind of attitude, which is not working. Which is not working. What we need to do is some kind of practice, some kind of a genuine solidarity with the community to understand. It was not easy for me to understand as well. I am not a Gauda myself. I come from Render family and I also face the same thing. But luckily I fought every kind of discouragement and I came up to study up to this level. I'm doing my PhD at BITS. But many have not been able to succeed. But it's for us and jointly to change and challenge
and create an alternate architecture of resistance.
If there are no more questions, in conclusion, I may just add to your knowledge that Gowdas are very good engineers. Not the type of engineers that we are producing today, but they have given us and the world an engineering marvel called the Kazan. And you please go and see how a Kazan works. It's been there in existence for say around more than 2000 years and beyond that. A contribution of the Gowda engineering mind. So don't underestimate them. They are the best engineers in the world. And that Kazans work on natural tidal waters. You don't require any power, you don't require anything, they have done it, created it, and we are just only destroying it. Okay? They have given us the Kumnidat system, the Gaonkari, that is the community ownership of land, which has been overtaken now by the upper caste, the Brahmins, and all that we see now. Then they have given us the Kumeri cultivation, the burn and slash method that is called in English. So don't underestimate, they are the best agriculturists, they are the best engineers, they are the best brains. However, we have subjugated them. The later on settlers in Goa have subjugated them and not allowed them to flower. That is the only injustice that is happening to them. I thank you for coming and joining us in this discussion. I thank Devda, Bob and Sati. And I must thank special thanks to the organizers of this program for allowing Sevi to talk, because Sevi is considered the first Naxal of Goa according to the Defence Minister of India. So declared an Naxal by him, which he is not, and the whole of Goa erupted in support of Sevi for the work that he does among the tribals and the other communities. And then I think he apologized to you. Did he? Or that is still waiting? We are still waiting for him to apologize. Okay? Thank you.